Okay, people, so The Last Sacrifice. This is the new documentary from Rupert Russell. Yeah, Rupert. He wrote and directed. It is pro Crier. We've got associate production from William Day Frank and Alexander McNeil. We have archival production from Holly Mina Jones and Saoirse Bloom Dunphy is post-production. Mike Lindsay handles the score. We have Oliver Watts and Stephen Yap on cinematography. Alexander McNeil also edits the piece. Okay. Visual effects are Andrew J. Sepperly. Right. Yeah, that's basically all the information on that side of things, right? We hear from Geraldine Beskin, Gavin Bone, Janet Farrar, Adam Godley, Ronald Hutton, Layla Latif, Jonathan Rigby, Diane Rogers, Tim Stanley, and Dave Thompson, amongst others. So, what is this all about? Well, it uncovers the real-life witchcraft killing that inspired the Wicker Man and birthed the folk horror genre. This unsettling true crime interrogation unlocks the perverse cultural undercurrents that shaped the genre from its murderous beginnings to its modern day resurrection. This is a journey that gets under the skin of British polite society, that slays with pride, kills with prejudice, and exposes an island nation's dark heart to reveal the Wicker Man is more fact than fiction. Dum dum dum. Supposedly, right? Supposedly. Yeah, this is a very. I didn't know anything about this, right? I didn't even know this is what this was. You know what I'm saying? Like the good people of Shudder, they hooked me up as they do, right? And so I'm like, yeah, I give most things a check, right? Because we want to give a broad focus here, people. So I'm watching this, and at the beginning, you know what I mean? Like, we talk about a murder, right? This kind of this gnarly, right? It's a gnarly murder of a gentleman. What's the name again? Charles Walton, right? And it's kind of alluded to that this is a kind of like a sacrificial type of murder, right? A witchcraftian murder. And, like, it is one of those things. Supposedly they go to investigate and no one's telling the truth. All the villagers are like, but it's kind of then suddenly out in the news that it's to do with witchcraft, right? That's supposedly that's what this is. And I think they talk to his wife at one point, but the way they talk to the wife is kind of just bonkers, because it's just like, it's not. So you were married to Charles. So how was it? It's just like, I believe you lived with the victim. He's like, yes, I lived with. And he's just like, wait, what? And even if I misconstrued that, right, and it was his sister, right, because it was something Walton, right? That's the woman. So she's either a relative or a wife, right? But either way, like you'd address it and talk about it completely different. It's a very bizarre thing. But so we start off talking about that, right? Then this thing just kind of spirals in a completely different direction. And now we're just talking about witchcrafts and covens for, I don't know, like 40 minutes, maybe even longer. This is about a 90-minute doc, right? Not that much time really is on this supposed sacrifice, this last sacrifice, right? The rest of it is about other stuff. And if you wanted to do a thing about just do it about that, right? All of this other stuff doesn't really, it's not needed, right? Just make a short documentary. That's fine, right? Just do that. But yeah, we're talking about witchcraft. One person. This is why, like, I kind of think this is kind of bonkers. This is kind of a bonkers documentary. Right? This one woman says like, witchcraft is the religion that England gave to the world, and I'm just like, wait, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, witchcraft is the only religion that England gave to the. I'm just. People have been believing in witches all over the shop for years. Like, so much longer, you know what I mean, than this. Right? This murder was in I think, like the 60s. Like, people been believing in witches a whole heap longer than this shit. What are you talking about, woman? What are you talking about? But that is oftentimes the issue with talking head documentaries, right? Because all they want to do is show someone talking. Now, obviously, a lot of times is that person has been asked some questions, right, at the beginning. So it'd be like, hey, Sue, could you just tell us about, and then they talk, and that's what, you know, we see. Or it might be an interview, a back and forth, and they're just editing out the other half. But either way, a lot of times the issue is you're just letting someone go. And it's just like, you know, if you're having a conversation with that person, you could be like, yo, hold on. What do you mean Britain gave the world witchcraft? Like, what are you talking about, woman? Do you not understand? Right? That's what this needs, right? It needs some pushback on some of the things, because we are having people say some wild, dumbass shit. And, you know, they're just sitting in it, right? They're sitting in their, like, oddness with no checks or balances. You know what I mean? It's a load of people that it just feels like they are so G'd up to be on TV, right? Oh, I've got my, I'm back on TV. Oh man, there's, you know, at the time they're on talk shows and all of this kind of thing, but that's all dried up, right? No one's giving a fuck about these people anymore. So now they're getting shine again. It just feels like they are over the moon. And there's one bit from this woman, Diana Farah, and she's just like, this was some archival. We have her talking in general, but there's some archival as well. And in it, she's just like, I believe there's a load of different covens that have opened up around the country. Well, I challenge you all. And it's just like, what are you talking about? Like, stop it. Stop it. You know what I mean? You ain't casting spells. You're not like. And there's a dude that they're like, he was the most well known witch in the world. And they're like, oh, because he was gay, we didn't mind hanging around. I'm like, was he though? Right? How many times have you seen people play that one, right? Pretend to be gay, and then it's just like, oh, I don't mind watching you get undressed, you know? And it's just like, does that even matter? Like, so what? He's gay. It's still weird. It's still a weird thing what he's doing, right? It's a bizarre doc that is just letting people spew nonsense and no pushback. And when I say nonsense, right? Obviously, I think the universe is a large ass place, right? As we talked with James Fox, you know, it's huge. There are so many things that we do not know. There's definitely more out there. But these people, yeah, it's like, I saw the vampire of Highgate Cemetery. I'm like, did you? Did you? Right? So supposedly, this vampire moved mad fast, right? Vampires drink blood. Vampires, you know, supposedly, from what we know, you know what I mean? Like all the stories, they're not compassionate. So why would this vampire let you live? Why would it be like, oh, look at that woman looking at me? You know what? I'll pass. I want to drink her blood. Like, it makes no sense. Some goofy guy talking, oh, I saw the vampire. Oh, I saw him in November, February, and April. And you're like, yeah, okay. You did you? So, like, maybe one occasion he was just full up. And he's like, you know what, I'm going to let that goofy guy go. The other times he was exactly the same? No. Come on. Stop it. But yeah, it's a look at all of this stuff. Now, the intriguing thing is talking about like the police detective that was like mad famous and got a TV show based on him. You know, that kind of thing. That's kind of interesting. Or just, you know, like, I think the interesting thing is the growth of folklore, right? And not necessarily, the growth is probably the wrong word. Not the growth, is like folklore, legend, right? All of that stuff, mythology. It's embedded in cultures, right? But what I mean is the upsurgence of, right? How you get something like the Wicker Man. And then in recent times, right, we had Midsummer, Starvaker. Oh God, there was one that we looked at, and they were wearing these weird masks, and it was like the little girl. I think it was a little girl got kidnapped. I cannot remember the name of that, but we looked at that a couple of years ago, right? There's just a lot of these films, right, dealing with this type of thing. So that, I feel that's the interesting thing, that it is still something that can intrigue people, right? But do I believe, because there's absolutely no evidence, right? You've just got people going, I'm a witch, right? It's like how people can go, I am a twin spirit, right? Sometimes I'm a hawk. Other times I'm a leopard, right? And you're like, oh man, that's really cool. Oh yeah, well done, right? We're meant to like just go with that. You know what I mean? It's the same thing. If just because you're saying it doesn't mean it's real. And so all of these people saying they're witches, saying it's just like, you're not giving me anything. Even like at the end, we then go on to someone that was once a Teletubby, like talking. It's like, oh yeah, and you know, I had some bad luck, and he's just like, okay, you had some bad luck. You know what? I don't think there's probably one person that has gone through life without a little bit of bad luck. You know what I mean? It's like, what are you talking about? Just because you said, oh, well, we were filming in the Cotswolds, and by this hill, and I think the hill's got power, and I think that gave me bad luck. Like, no. There is, that's the thing, it's just the straight lack of any evidence. Because we know, right, that, what is it? Like, a lot of people got poisoned by ergot. I think it's ergot, right? Because they found traces of it in like wine casks and things like that from the time. And that is probably the thing that caused, right, all the witch hunts. Because it was like, you know what I mean? Making people hallucinate and shit. So we have that evidence that was a thing. Now, was it the sole reason? Who knows? But we know that was a thing. Like, come with something, right? Come with something that you can go, okay, everything here just feels like hearsay and people jazzed about being on TV. Is a very bizarre documentary. So I think it came out in the cinemas on a limited release in the UK, but it's just about to drop in the States on Shudder. So I think that's why we're revisiting The Last Sacrifice. But yeah, if you enjoy things about the supernatural, maybe you want to give it a look. But yeah, it doesn't really get into, anything actual about the murders, right? It talks about the murders. It talks about, yes, we found a person in this condition, but evidence about who did it or anything is thin on the ground, people. Thin on the ground. But hey, if witches are your thing, maybe The Last Sacrifice is for you. But yeah. I'm gonna leave it there, people. I'm gonna leave it there. You enjoy yourself.